Hello, today we're going to talk about an interesting subject, a triggering one, which is about commitment, how we should respect or maintain our commitment in marriage. Hopefully, it's not easy. It's not easy as a human being to maintain a good commitment. We're going to go through different tips or points which are going to allow us to understand the way we should respect our commitment in marriage. And I hope that's going to really to help each one of us to know if we legally married in order to respect this point and maintain a good commitment with our mate. A woman by the name of Michelle said that she noticed for some time that her husband had been emotionally distant from her and was treating their children coldly. She said his behavior changed soon after we received new neighbor and when we went through an argument. One night after the children had gone to bed, I stayed late at work and received a call that I was supposed quickly to come at the place where I was called. When I arrived, I saw my husband with one woman at the restaurant that were discussing. I asked him a question since when he's been going out with her. He told me quite a while. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that this was happening to me. I completely lost trust in him. To make matters worse, a workmate had recently started to express romantic interest in me. Some time ago, my wife discovered a picture stored on my phone and confronted me about it. When I made it that regularly visiting that woman, she was livid. I felt horribly embarrassed and very guilty. I thought it was the end of our marriage. This is what a man said by the name of Henry. So, we're not perfect, we're imperfect human being, and we can have some issues or argument to happen within our family cycle or even our couple cycle. That may happen, it's true, because we're all imperfect. But despite, we should learn how to maintain a good commitment through this. Let's get back now to the two examples. What do you think happening to the two in their relationship? You may think that going out with somebody else or maybe having a outgoing with someone else is a big deal, or also the fact of having a picture of someone on your phone is also a problem. Of course, we know it's not good because you made a vow that you should respect and that it's possible that you should remain with your only mate. But what was really the problem? If you say that the woman or the man, it means that we need to fix it. The real problem was the vice that was really a symptom of a deeper issue. That was a lack of commitment to the marriage. Because when both were married, we're going to keep in mind that they looked forward to life of shared love and enjoyable experiences. So, like many couples though, their commitment to the marriage waned over time. Notice waned over time, and they seemed to drift apart. Do you feel that the bond between you and your mate is weakening as the years have passed? Would you like to reverse that trend? If so, you need to know the answers to these questions. What does it mean to be committed to your marriage? What challenge can undermine such commitment? and what can you do to strengthen your commitment to your mate? Let's move to the first part, in which we're going to answer to one or two questions being raised. What is commitment first? Uh, something is that how would you personally define commitment in marriage? Because maybe we can have our own way of defining the word commitment. But let's go through and to see if we're going to fix that way to define it. Many would say that it springs from a sense of duty. For example, a couple may remain committed to the marriage because of their children or because of a duty they feel toward God, their originator marriage. Certainly, such motives are admirable and will help marriage survive difficult times. But to be happy, marriage mates need to feel more than just a sense of obligation to each other. Marriage was designed to bring a couple deep-seating joy and commitment, because God intended for man to rejoice with his wife and vice versa. To create such sort of bond, a couple must learn to trust each other. Equally important, they need to develop a lifelong friendship. When a man and a woman earn each other's trust and work at becoming the best of friends, their commitment to marriage or to each other will grow. They're going to inform or to form a bond which is so solid so that other people may also enjoy it. We do remember to expression we say that we are married for life, whether for best or worse, better time or worse time. And then the two becomes one flesh. Of course, they do the best possible really to become one flesh. Commitment, therefore, could be likened to the mortar that binds the bricks of sturdy house. Mortar is made from a combination of ingredients, including sand, cement, and water. Similarly, commitment is formed from a combination of such factors as duty, trust, and friendship, what may weaken the bond now. As we notice that commitment is formed from the combination of such factors, duty, trust, and friendship, and the question is, what may weaken that bond? The bond, what can weaken that? Let's go through the challenge. We cannot have only one challenge, but many or a lot of them. What are challenges? Commitment, notice, requires hard work and self-sacrifice. It demands that you be willing to forego your own preferences in order to please your mate. However, the concept of yielding to someone else's wishes, of giving without asking, what's in it for me? That's not a pretty good question. When you ask it, what's in it for me? It means that things cannot go well. This has become popular with many and even offensive to some. But please ask yourself, how many selfish people do I know who have a happy marriage? Likely the answer is few, if any. Why? A selfish individual will not likely remain committed to a marriage when personal sacrifice is required Notice, especially when there is no immediate payoff for the small concessions he or she may make. Without commitment, a relationship will soar, no matter how sweet the romantic feelings were when a couple first fell in love. Realistically, though, we need to acknowledge that marriage is a hard work. Notice that a married couple or a married man is anxious for things to make happy a wife or vice versa. So, unfortunately, even marriage mates would normally have unselfish, do not always acknowledge each other's anxieties or very demand sacrifices. When a couple fail to show appreciation for each other, the marriage is bound to cause them more tribulation in the flesh than it would otherwise. So, if your marriage is to survive difficult times and to thrive during good times, you need to develop a long term view of your relationship. How can you develop such an attitude? And how can you encourage your mate to remain committed to you? We got to this point, how to strengthen commitment, to this first part of this video. A key factor is humbly to apply wise advice. By doing so, we will benefit ourselves and our mate. We're going to consider two practical steps we can take. And I hope through the practical step that we're going to take, the two are going to help, and then this first part of video going to end. Make your marriage a priority. Do you make it a priority? You need to make sure of the more important things in your marriage. Notice that a husband and wife that treat each other respectfully is very important. Because a man who honors his wife will be also honored by God and by people or outsiders when they are observing, they are seeing. And a woman is supposed to respect her husband. And such a woman will have a great value in the eyes of God and other people too. So the question is, how important is your marriage to you? Usually the more important an endeavor, the more time you spend on it. Ask yourself, over the past month, how much time did I set aside just to spend with my mate? What specific things have I done to reassure my mate that we are still good friends? If you invest a little more or no more time in maintaining your marriage, your mate may find it difficult to believe that you are committed to the union. So, does your mate think that you are committing to your marriage? How can you find out? We have an exercise. Sit comfortably, and we're going to go for it. Let me myself also sit comfortably. Write on a piece of paper the following 5 categories. We have work, we have money, we have marriage, we have entertainment, and friends. Then now number the list according to what you believe to be your spouse's priorities. Ask your mate to do the same about it. Which means about you. When completed, exchange list with your mate. If your mate feels that you are not investing enough time and energy in your marriage, discuss what changes you may need to make to strengthen your commitment to each other. Also, ask yourself, what can I do to make more of an interest in things that are important to my mate? The second is avoid all forms of infidelity. It's what we're going to follow next time. Thank you and goodbye.